Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ozzy's Drives. I am holding the key to one of the most controversial cars this year, and it's the BMW M2. So, starting it up, and let's drive off. In comfort mode, how does it feel? How does it drive? Well, basically, sitting inside it, it doesn't feel much different than a BMW M4, to be honest. The dimensions of the car are very big. It is longer than, for example, an M3 E46. It has a lot of horsepower. It has a very beautiful thick steering wheel. You have the new curved screen in the front. You have your head-up display with all the necessary information. You have the ZF 8-speed automatic. We have a lot of nice things. It's very comfortable driving it in comfort mode. But since we are on a pass road in beautiful Switzerland, we need, of course, to check how it drives around corners. So we have a couple of driving modes to choose from. One would be comfort mode, like we are in right now. We can then turn the car into M mode. You press that button one time, then you can go to sport. When you go to sport, the car has kind of you can set it up how you want. It's now set up in comfort, etc., but you can do some fancy things with it, and it's still showing you all the screens. Front screen here with the necessary information, how fast you're traveling, etc., and the right screen with the navigation system on and so on, still here. If you want to see a full detailed review on it, make sure to check out our other video of the exterior and interior in-depth review. Here we're only focused on driving. So comfort mode, it feels comfortable. It has some comfortable features to it, especially on this bumpy road, but you can unmistakably tell it's a fast car, and it's really trimmed for performance. Also, just how you turn in, it feels very sharp, and it has a very nice stiffness to it. It's really a wide and very aggressive looking and very aggressive driving pocket rocket. What I found the most interesting is when you stop here, for example, and you press M mode one more time, you activate track mode. So you have to press it and then press track mode and track activate. What happens now is everything is basically turned off. The screen is turned off, everything is turned off, and you only have to drive. So in front of me, I have a new animation. The intelligent safety is deactivated, and I'm now in manual mode. So what I can also do is I set up the driving experience before on the button M1 that I have to press one time and a second time to engage in M1 mode, which means I set everything up to sport, everything to aggressive, DSC off, rear wheel drive, of course. It doesn't have an all-wheel drive, it's a rear wheel drive. Sadly, not with a manual gearbox. You could get it with a manual gearbox, and some strange things happen. First, it is much louder. Second, your throttle response is much more aggressive. The steering wheel gets harder. The shifts are much more aggressive, and you have kind of a animated sound when you're shifting to give you more of that experience. Listen to that. You have this sound that is really very interesting to listen to and kind of addictive. And the sound, of course, we have OPF, but it's not that bad. So let's stop here and let me accelerate from 0 right next to the wall so you understand what I'm talking about, okay? So 3, 2, 1, no launch, just easy. Holy fuck, man. Okay, let me do that one more time. All right, 3, 2, 1 from 0, gently off the line. Okay. Yeah, man. And it grips very hard. To be honest, I can't even tell the difference between this or an M4. I mean, holy shit, it doesn't feel like 460 horsepower, to be honest, because the car should have 460 horsepower of the S58 engine and 550 newton meters of torque, only rear wheel drive. It feels like 500 horsepower, perfectly honest. Power output after 4,500 RPMs, very brutal, up to 7,500 RPMs, very nice. Let's see how the cornering is. Whoa! Holy shit! You really have to watch out on the throttle because, my goodness, man, this really is sharp on the throttle. So when you are in sports mode, the throttle is actually very direct. It is very dangerous because the power output is very immediate also, and it kind of revs. It's so much more aggressive when you go into the sport and track mode. I mean, just tapping it, it's like it loses all of the comfort. It's just trimmed to sport, and it's so direct. Look at that. Third gear. That is really beautiful. The ZF Automatic in its latest evolution, literally, there's no delay. You feel a little bit of those automatic vibes, but to be honest, you can't really tell from a normal man's experience, and maybe not on the track, you can't really tell the difference between this and a double clutch. But what is really surprising is the sheer power output. This is really intense. I mean, it's just jumping forward. And the sound is not that bad. Okay, in the cabinet it is produced, but it's really not that bad. That was third gear. Very, very powerful. You know what I thought on the last M2, where they kind of, you had the same engine like the M4, the S55, but it kind of felt like they removed a little bit of the power. Here, it feels so strong. Holy shit, man. And cornering feels also very beautiful, man. And you don't, I mean, let's talk about the weight. I mean, it's 1,800 kilograms. It's very, very heavy. Now with me, it's almost 1.9 tons. Okay, I see a tunnel. Let's give you the full blast of the M2. But we have to wait for the cyclists to pass, because otherwise I don't want to risk them getting an eardrum problem. Wow! It can't put the power down, man. It can't put the power down. It's too much horsepower for that little car, especially in second gear. I mean, it was a rolling start, man. At 50 kph, it can't put the power down. Let's do it one more time right next to the wall. 20. Very powerful little car, let me tell you that. It feels incredible, especially on beautiful roads like this. I mean, comparing it to the CLA 45S, for example, or the RS3, you can't even compare it, man. This is a track car. This is really something for somebody that has the balls to drive, man. I mean, those other two cars are very good cars and they are fast, but this is just ridiculous. I mean, the S58 engine is so aggressive. It's just, it really has very dangerous vibes, man. I mean, just driving off gently and then putting the car into sport mode, you have this incredible strength of that engine. Because like I told you, normally on the last M2, even on the competition, you could tell that the power output wasn't really that much. I mean, they gave you the S55 engine with 410 horsepower on the M2 competition. This is the basic M2. This is not the competition or anything. It's just the M2. And it feels so powerful. It has 50 horsepower more than the last M2 competition. That's crazy. That's a crazy number. And it sounds actually pretty nice, to be honest. Here in the tunnel, let's find out about the sound. I have to turn on the ESP. I'm sorry. It just literally, it's crazy. Of course, it's not comparable like the times pre-OPF where you really had those pops and bangs. But I mean, I'm just really surprised how this car goes. And I mean, the grip level is really it's like there is no grip, although we have so wide tires at the back, man. Very, very, very interesting to drive, very powerful, but very stuck to the road. So it's not like you have any kind of problems driving it fast in those fast corners and the roundabouts and all of those beautiful things. It just feels very powerful. It really feels like an M4. It really does. It really feels like an M4. It isn't as powerful, and of course it's not an X-drive, it's an rear-wheel drive only, but it feels so powerful. And the power output exploding after those 4,500 RPMs, it's crazy, man. The M3 competition has 100 Newton meters more, of course, with the all-wheel drive system. Here I think the 550 are plenty. They're really plenty. It's the same power output like in the M4 normal version, no competition. It has also 550 Newton meters of torque. Brakes, M compound brake, of course, absolutely incredible. When you push it really hard, you get to 1.2 G of brake power, so it's really great to drive. I mean, just looking at it from here, it really feels like an M4. There's not much different. It feels premium to sit inside here, really. You have this beautiful carbon fiber, it feels like an M4. Just on a budget, maybe a little smaller, maybe a little bit of a shorter wheelbase, but they've done a tremendous job on this car, man. I really, really like it. It's really great. So I'm kind of wondering how this car is really when you try to push it on the edge on two very long corners, and we're approaching two very nice corners. I just want to feel how it really goes around them. So let me overtake a bunch of cars here. First of all, the motorcycle, that is gone. And then the second thing we need to overtake is the... Oh, I mean, on the shifts, the brakes are absolutely fantastic, man. Okay, so downhill, very stable front axle, no understeer, no oversteer, perfect. Wow! Okay, hard on the brake, M compound brake, you can brake so late. Then you turn in here, very sharp on the throttle. Holy shit, man, I'm really a fan of it. It goes around those corners like a fucking berserk. Pwah! Such a fast car. Okay. Oh, and it handles those bumps. It's a very bumpy road here. A very, very bumpy road. It handles them fantastic. BMW, you have done quite a good job again, man. You're always making it really... in today's terms, it's very difficult to bring out a car that is really giving you the joy of the old models, you know? But with this car, they give you so much performance, you know? They repay you with performance for what you have lost on the experience, on the emotional experience. So this is really, really a fast car, and I can't wait to find out what tuners are going to do to them. I mean, they're going to rip faces of so many fast cars that you would never expect an M2 to be able to rip. Let's go up there. What a beautiful scenery we have here. So, manual, first gear. Oh, it just explodes forward, man. It just explodes forward. What a fantastic machine. And really, the power output is linear. It's right there when you need it. The only thing that's too aggressive is the throttle response in sport mode, but you can turn it to comfort and you'll be perfectly safe. And you really have to push it hard so it oversteers. We're going to try that. But this, I mean, look at that. It feels very stable. The engine behaves absolutely fantastic. And I've never heard something bad about the S58. It is literally one of the best engines you can buy today. One of the best performing engines. It's ridiculous. It can do everything. It can drive very comfortably. It can drive very aggressive. You can turn it to track. You can do everything with those cars nowadays. It's incredible. And especially how stable this feels on the road. This feels incredibly stable. Look at that. Third gear, brake here hard. Second gear, turn in. hold it on this throttle, and you accelerate out a little bit, oversteer, absolutely fantastic. And another one, brake hard, wow! Turn here, and when you want it, just let it slide a little bit. How can you argue with that? BMW, the sheer driving pleasure. Absolutely fantastic. I really love it. But those corners, how it tackles those corners, look at that. You brake hard, bam, bam, second gear, go in that corner, hold it on the throttle, hold it tight, accelerate out, and hard on the brake. What a fantastic thing to drive. Really fantastic, man. And turn here again. And just as before, if you want, let it slide a little bit. Oh man, I think you got the message. And when you want it to be comfortable, press the M1 button 2 times. It gets into normal mode again, and the car is your perfect daily driver. Typical BMW. The best or nothing. The sheer pleasure of driving. They hold what they promise, and if you want it to be very loud, you know what you have to do, man. You have to tune it. That's about it for today. If you liked the review, make sure you subscribe. Make sure to leave a like, and see you on the next one, friends. Goodbye.